Hey guys, what's going on? Sorry, this is my third time trying to record this, so I'm kind of worn down by it a little bit because this guy made this video response here to me about I believe it was in response to my video called "You're not an anti-natalist, you have more than zero kids," um, but it just seems to be a general kind of like. I mean, I don't know. Like most of his arguments for me are just kind of a non-starter. They just kind of don't really go anywhere for me. This whole video, it just kind of, he doesn't really go anywhere with what he's saying. It doesn't really kind of go anywhere with the ideas of the philosophy. He just kind of, I went to this college and, I've been studying this since before you were born and all this shit and I know this metamorph guy, so he's the best guy on YouTube, and you should be ashamed for not knowing about him or not giving a fuck about him. Like I don't, because I really don't give a fuck about this metamorph character. Honestly, I never heard of them, and you know, I've seen a couple of their videos since then, but they really just they don't really fucking do anything for me. Metamorph. But yeah, so anyways, let's continue on. I want to do a full response to this video. And yeah, I feel like I went on too far, went on too long with the other ones, so the other responses that I tried to make. So we're going to go ahead and do this right now. I also had problems with the audio recording earlier, so it was just kind of too quiet. So yeah, okay. So we're just gonna go through this now. Let's do it right. And we'll do it good. I guess I don't know, some shit like that.
Hi, this is a response to FIAR Radio, who I subscribed to recently. The reason I subscribed to you was because I thought I found an anti-natalist who wasn't just falling into this FLS position automatically.
Okay. Yeah, see, this is my first problem where he's saying that I'm falling into the FLS position when I made videos already saying how I don't like the FLS position and how I disagree with it fundamentally in a lot of key ways. He just seems to kind of want to kind of box me in with all these other people. Throughout this video, he wants to box me in with Ethelists. He wants to box me in with Inmendum. He wants to box me in with this BD Ramon guy who I've been having some interaction with on the channel. And he wants to pretend like somehow I have this flock or something already when I've been on here for like about a week. And it's just like kind of ridiculous to me. So, anyways, continue on, English jackass.
Following in Mandem. Okay. As if it's some kind of a cult thing.
Again, I don't follow on Mendham.
There's a few anti-natalist channels out there which don't do that, which obviously don't do that, which I like. They have their own way of doing things. I've got a lot of time for a response.
Who is an ephelist? Furwell Films. She is an ephelist, so she falls into the ephelist trap that you're talking about. Like I don't really see. I mean, she literally. I mean, she didn't write the book necessarily on ephelism, but she wrote the movie on ephelism. I mean, pretty close. She's probably explained it more concisely than Inmendum ever has. So I can give her credit for that. And the way she explains it's a lot more, it makes more sense than the way Gary tries to put it. But there's still some qualms that I have with it here and there. But that's just the reality of it. But let's go continue on here.
Who has had children?
Don't care about this metamorph character. Who gives a shit?
There are two channels, particularly, if you want to learn about anti-natalism. Very good channels, okay.
I learned about anti-natalism from Thomas Malthus, reading Principles of Population, David Benatar's Better to Have Never Been, and also Peter, all these different works from Peter Wesselzap, like his writings and everything like that. And so I mostly have been inspired by the actual philosophers, behind this stuff, not so much the YouTube celebrities that are attached to it. I would say though that my main, kind of source of the belief system that I have here is David Benatar. So yeah.
You also personally speaking a natalist.
What the fuck? Sorry. I don't know what. I have this thing that's weird with my speakers where they make noise when they're touching against the wall a certain way. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Must be like radio interference or something. But anyways, let's continue on.
First thing is, I had my first child, or my wife had our first child in 2002. We had our second child in 2005.
Okay, so you had time to think about it, did you? You really, maybe I shouldn't farm my wife and turn her into a fucking, a fucking sow for my personal pleasure. And then you're in 2005, you're like, no, this is the year, no, my wife, she's gonna be my fucking slave this year. I mean, it's just like, it's physical slavery, pregnancy. So you just wanna, okay, go ahead, asshole. Go ahead and excuse that. Go ahead and pretend like that didn't happen. Like that has no effect on the here and now. You go ahead and pretend like it has no effect on that.
YouTube didn't start until February 2005.
Yeah, I don't care. You. It doesn't matter what the fuck happened on with the YouTube. I mean, there's been plenty of anti-natalists before YouTube. Like I was just saying, I mean, I learned about anti-natalism essentially from Thomas Malthus, and that's where I first heard about it. And then I read some David Benatar, and I read little stories here and there. I found this one on it was like a Kindle book or something like that. That was like it seemed to be like a summary of sorts. I'll talk about it if I can get to it at some point. But it was just kind of a summary book about anti-natalism. It wasn't really getting too deep into the issues. But yeah, so I almost found that really I was anti-natalist a lot, like for a long time before I knew about the term or about any of the philosophers, and so that's kind of why I'm here right now. It's more because of my own personal mission and not so much caring about what the other people said, especially not what some fucking people on YouTube said, because that doesn't fucking matter. You hear that, people? You can unsubscribe if you want. What I'm saying doesn't really, I mean, to me it matters, but I mean, if it doesn't matter to you, whatever, fucking unsubscribe then, go ahead. But yeah, so let's continue.
Few clips, if any, about anti-natalism in 2005.
Don't care.
Because to me, anti-natalism is a YouTube phenomenon.
That's bullshit. Like I just said, that's total bullshit. There's plenty of philosophers that were talking about anti-natalism far before fucking. They were talking about anti-natalism far before you fucking. Oh, you went to your special college. He's gonna mention how he went to some special college that qualified him completely on anti-natalism. So, you guys will see in a minute. But yeah, here we go.
I know it's existed in philosophy for a long time, and since the turn of the century and before that. And I know this because I studied social science at university back in the early 90s, before you were born, right?
Oh boy, yeah, this is my favorite part here. He's like, I was doing this shit before you were born, boy. So I know have some intrinsic knowledge that you don't have somehow, because I went to some college that was good at the time that I went there, but now it's probably a lot different because it's a different. I mean, all the colleges are like vying for a position, basically, is the most important one. So they ain't really gonna stay the same in terms of importance, and so it's hard to really, any college that I go to, that's what I think. I'm going to college right now, but I still have the knowledge that whatever place I go to, it's probably going to lose its name recognition after a while. I mean, it depreciates in value. So, especially if you don't practice, the ideas, or you don't, keep your mind active on the topic. It seems like most of this guy's videos on here, they're not really keeping with the topic of anti-natalism. They're just kind of, talking and talking and talking, kind of not about nothing. And this one, it's like I don't really see where's the anti-natalism in this video. He's mostly just talking about himself, how he's really a true anti-natalist somehow because he went to some college, and how he watches some special guy on YouTube who makes him special because he's special, because somehow whoever he hangs around with, that qualifies him in the anti-natalism crew, the anti-natalism gang. So yeah, it's kind of silly to me.
I was aware of anti-natalism, but it was an obscure thing. I was more interested in the other meta-narratives, the Marxism, Durkheimian sociology, Lecompte, Hegel, Nietzsche.
Gotta stop you at the Nietzsche part there, because he's one of the nihilists, folks. I don't know if you know this, man, but Nietzsche is pretty much a nihilist. I mean, he's pretty much said, take what you can get, grab life, all the natalists say basically, just grab life by the balls. It has no effect on anything, because you are the only everything. It's like this REM song I listened to earlier. It's like you are the everything, It's just kind of foolish to me, but yeah. I just gotta say, yeah, I really disagree with the whole Nietzsche thing, and I disagree with so many anti-natalists bringing him up like he actually believed in anything anti-natalist at all, because he really didn't. They're just kind of throwing his name around.
People like that. It's very unfair of you to accuse me of being a natalist. A natalist is, natalism is a belief in promotion of human production.
And Nietzsche was a natalist, pretty much. So there's one symptom. Second symptom would be that you already had fucking kids. So you didn't follow the one basic tenet of anti-natalism, which is do not have any kids. It is bad. It is not a good thing. God.
I believe that it's a moral duty to reproduce.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't have anything to say about that.
Promote the reproduction of...
I mean, okay, no, I do have something to say about that, really, because so he's not really a natalist per se. I mean, he kind of is. I mean, let's face it. This video that he did with it was like anti-natalist man on the street. He was talking to this guy who had the same amount of kids as he did, and he was like, "You shouldn't have any kids, man." And it's just the guy laughed at him, obviously, because it's like, okay, where's your moral high ground there? You had the same amount of kids. You fucking, you tasted the poison, or whatever fucking term you want to use to describe it. You broke the one tenet of your belief system that you're preaching, and you want to go around and preach it like you really are, you're a true blue or something, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't really see how you can make that argument that you're that far off from a natalist. I mean, I honestly can't see the difference between you and I mean, it pretty much is, and you're pretty much a natalist. I mean, maybe you're preaching against it now, but what about when you meet your next wife? Oh, in 2025 this time. Oh, I had my third kid in 2025. It's like, but I didn't mean to. It's just like, fuck that. Like, it's worthless. It's like you clearly don't believe in this stuff. It's just it's a conditional thing. It's like, well, the wife's not gonna give me sex now, so I guess I'm an anti-natalist. It's for the sake of convenience. They just believe in it for the sake of convenience for themselves.
I don't promote having children.
But you already did. You already did promote having children by having children.
Just my wife and I chose to have children.
Okay, and I'm saying that you would probably do the same shit with your next wife. You say, "Oh, me and my other wife, we just chose to have children." You know, oh, like it's such a benign little thing. Oh, it's no big deal. It has no effect on your moral standing in the fucking anti-natalist community or in any community. It has nothing to do with anything. Just forget about it, like the nihilists do. Just forget about anything that hasn't, that any effect, cause that, that we, forget any effect that we cause, basically, which is just stupid.
That was it. So let's get out of the way. I'm not a natalist, okay? We're not interested in...
Yeah, like I said, I just have a hard time seeing how he's much. I mean, I would have a hard time calling him a natalist per se, like I said, because he is preaching against it now. But I mean, he still is showing an advocacy for that. He's giving an example, making an example of this is what an anti-natalist is like. There's somebody who, they change their mind and, I guess it's just gonna happen because of the biological imperative bullshit. They just want to talk about the biological imperative, how it's hard to be an anti-natalist because they want to get their dick wet all the time and they want to not wear fucking protection and they want to fucking just not get a fucking vasectomy or anything like that. They don't want to do anything that has to do with the tenets of the belief. They just want to pretend like they believe it. I mean, for some sort of acceptance, some just sort of vain acceptance or something. I don't really understand.
Promoting the birth of children in the world.
But you did already.
We hope. Okay. This is an important distinction.
What's your important distinction? You should have made your distinction because you didn't really make much of a distinction there. You just kind of said, yeah, well, I'm an anti-natalist now, so I'm an anti-natalist for life. It's like, yeah, it's too late. I keep trying to make this argument that it's too late. You've already been tainted by this activity. It's like, that's why they put sex offenders on a sex offender registry list. So they have a list, so that they know where they are because they can't trust them. They have to know where these people are because they can say, oh, I'm not gonna, touch little kids. But if they already did it, it's like, what the fuck? Where's your credibility? I mean, I'm not trying to compare you to a child molester or anything like that, but it's the same concept in that you're tainted with the guilt of the thing that we're all trying to preach against here as a community of anti-natalists. So I really feel like it just kind of it takes away any sort of moral high ground you might have over the natalist that you could ever possibly try to convince, which I think it would be hard to do, like I keep saying, when you've already had kids. It's really hard to convince people not to have any kids when you've already had kids.
So when natalism happens, it's often a result of public national policy. It's connected to certain religions, such as the Amish, who produce more kids than practically any other religion, and then of course the Catholics.
Okay, first true thing in the whole video, pretty much.
So, forgive me for having kids, but you can't shoot allow somebody to have kids and then change their position and think about it. People do renounce their religion, and the person who's can come and say, well, child, just a big hero moment, for instance. I've got to look at this channel, it comes from a Catholic background. And I'm reading in between the lines, and so he said something about priests accusing him of being evil because he renounced his faith. So here's a guy who's an anti-natalist. But at one time, he was part of the Catholic faith.
Okay. So, what he's about to say here is that the whole he's trying to make an equivalency here between being previously part of a religion that encourages natalism, but he didn't ever have any kids, right? It's still a different argument because he's arguing about, okay, here's this person held a position, a spiritual view, so they're as tainted as I am, even though I have blood on my hands, basically. I mean, that's really what you have, is blood on your hands, man. And that's all I can say.
But you are actually pro-natalist. But you think he's okay? Do you think this guy's an anti-natalist? Do you accept him into your flock?
I don't have a flock, and I never will. That's just stupid of you to say that, and kind of insidious, and just not really. I mean, there's no reason for you to pretend like I have some flock when I've been on YouTube for like a week. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So.
He's somebody who renounced his faith. He renounced his faith, which promotes natalism. But it's okay. He's okay now because of this BD Ramon character.
I just love the way he says that. He's just, and in the face afterwards, he's just like, he's so bitter. He's like, you know, he just seems so bitter about this whole thing, like where he really, really wants to be part of the club and everything when he's done nothing to, you know, initiate himself into the club. You know, do you have a vasectomy, buddy? You already said in one video that you fucking haven't had a vasectomy. Are you part? You didn't do anything to be part of the club. Where's your qualification to be fucking part of the club? You know, where's your? I mean, where's you don't have any a leg to stand on, like I keep saying.
The other thing is, I get the impression you're trying to impress him one day.
No. I'm not trying to impress Inmendham. I'm trying to argue against Inmendham, like I said in multiple videos already. Now, I guess the reason that I bring him up is because it unfortunately, that seems to be the only way to attract attention on YouTube. So it's the whole anti-natalist thing, is to bring up all these big, you know, heavy hitters that they have a couple thousand views and shit. So we have to use them to gain political power, right? So we pretty much have Inmendham. In terms of popular anti-natalists that we have to, you know, basically rely on to get our views out there. We have Reno Webb, we have Inmendham, we have Forever Wolf Films, and and that's just it just seems to be the way that the system is going right now. But yes, but it doesn't matter if it's, you know, he buries the meaning of his, belief system underneath so many, you know, rags and dish towels and shit, and fucking, you gotta fucking dig and dig and dig to find all the goddamn 610 commandments, all like, you know, written in stone and shit that are just like a total secret. I mean, you know, it seems to me like this guy, I mean, he doesn't really want to make it. He wants to do like the whole secret thing where he wants to pretend like, okay, so he's already got this in crowd, right? He's already got a couple of friends, I guess, that already watch his videos, so they're already just gonna agree with him anyway. So he can just say whatever he wants, and that's a lot different from any sort of fucking support that I got. I mean, you have 66 subscribers, I have like I believe it's 8. And I don't know how many of those are even still watching. I mean, I just joined YouTube. I'm sure they're just probably spam bots, some of them. But yeah.
He also has a streak of irrationality mixed in with all that fact. It doesn't really work as a mix to me. I would go with Forever Wolf Films. Keep it to
who is an ethicist, by the way. Like I've already said, she's an ethicist. So Amanda's an ethicist. So does that mean that you're just gonna discount what they say? I mean, what I'm saying is that I have some key disagreements with ethicalism. So I wouldn't consider myself an ethicist, but there are quite a lot of agreeable things about the position, the whole being against religion, being against the social constructs, being against the bigotry, and the all that stuff. I can agree with that, but I just can't agree with all the stuff that he said about how trainees are mentally disabled, or how if you play video games then you're like a bad person, or if you watch a movie more than, he said this before also, or if you watch a movie more than once or something, then you're just like a wasteful, awful piece of shit, and whatever. Yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous to me, to the point of me not even caring about watching his videos anymore. Really, I don't really want to see any more in-mendum crap, because I've already seen hours and hours and hours and hours. I mean, he posts fucking it must be like 1,000 videos every fucking year. I swear to God, man. But anyways.
Very understandable, accessible way, without all personal invective. That's okay. And then there's Metamorph.
Fuck Metamorph. Like I already said, I don't give a shit about him. He is trying to taint the position by shifting the goalposts. Oh, you can be an anti-natalist still if you have 2 kids, and then soon it's going to be, well, you can be an anti-natalist if you have 3, as long as you only have less than 3 kids. And it's just like they're just gonna keep shifting the goalpost for so they can fit it in with the literally middle America. The average number of kids is 2 kids. This fucker had 2 kids. How is he helping shit? He's not helping reduce the fucking population at all.
But Metamorph, he's older than me. He had children. To me, he's one of the key anti-natalists.
I don't give a fuck about your opinion on that. I really, 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 really don't. I think Thomas Malthus is one of the key fucking anti-natalists. He was the one who basically invented it. So, I mean, does that mean anything at all? No, it doesn't mean shit. Yes, I just did say fuck you to Metamorph. I already did.
He's very good.
Oh, he's very good. Oh, he's my favorite in the whole wide world. Everything he says is just so correct and just tickles my fancy so much.
You gonna say fuck you to Metamorph?
I already did.
He's had children.
Yeah, fuck him.
If I'm wrong.
Fuck him. Fuck Metamorph. He is a piece of shit. Fuck him. Yeah, I guess that's about it, because he didn't really want to cover any of the topics that I was actually trying to argue against him with. So hopefully this video will give him more food for thought, because I really think it's a boring response that this guy gave me. So hopefully this will, stir up something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's about it, guys. So peace out and take care.